I am Martha Ressler. I'm from Hamburg, Pennsylvania, and my piece is called From the Other Side of the Wall. This piece has its roots in a trip I took to Eastern Europe last year. I was especially impressed and astounded by a first-hand account that we heard from November 9th, 1989, when ecstatic Berliners from both sides of the wall began to climb that wall, dance upon it, and began to tear it down. They breached that wall. A few months later, I visited San Diego, visiting a friend there, and I asked her to give me a tour of Tijuana, which is her hometown. She did so, showing me the innovative street art of the new Tijuana, and especially the art, the vibrant paintings on the Mexico side of the wall that the U.S. has constructed in that section of the 2,000-mile boundary between the U.S. and Mexico. There's nothing on the U.S. side, by the way. It's militarized and blank and gray. Now, I'd begun making little, what I call travel quilts, while I was in Eastern Europe previously. I took along a lot of embroidery thread, I took along felt, I took along fabrics, I picked up postage stamps, found objects, did little drawings and paintings as I went along, and stitched as I traveled. So I did the same thing in Mexico. That is, I ended up with about 15 of these little small-sized quilts, some of them including like little landscapes, parts of the wall, or street art, or little paintings from the wall itself. And I was trying to figure out how to connect them into a larger piece, and I got stumped there. But in a Pennsylvania SACWA meeting, one of my fiber art sisters gave me the idea of going this way. That is, like a wall, something that was long like that. And I left that meeting with the thread, the beginning of that idea, but they said, well, you got to figure out a way to make it fancy. So what I did was add these things, which are supposed to simulate rebar, which is a concrete reinforcing a steel rod that goes into concrete. They're just made out of dowel rods with some overprinted camel fabric and some hemp twine and a lot of glue. And then I was driving along the highway one day and noticed construction fencing, that orange stuff that kind of sags and kind of cordons off a construction area. And I thought, that's it, because it conveys both the idea of a fence and the idea of something temporary. So by including that, I got my fancy idea plus something that wasn't going to last. And that is, I felt that history has taught us, via the lesson of the Berlin Wall itself, that these kinds of man-made boundaries meant to separate people and keep them apart are not going to last. I look forward to the day a new generation says, tear down this wall, just as they did in Berlin at Ecstasy in 1989. So From the Other Side of the Wall celebrates both the vibrancy of the new Tijuana and it's a protest against the barrier that divides us.